What's up, guys? It's your girl, Nag85, Psycho Sister, Auntie M, Angie Bob, Angie Marie, Angie Cakes, founder of Fat Girl Rock Bottom, owner and manager of Angie's Family Services, mom, budgeteer, future success, future life influencer, future foster mom. If you know me, you know me. You know me. And right now, I am CFO. So I am on a journey to get my money under control. I just did a 30-minute long video that talks a little bit about the last 2 weeks and kind of like what's built up to this point. And I'm ready. Thanks to my bestie, Berna Annette. She doesn't know she's my bestie, but life-changing book right now. I'm only on page 56. So it's also a mindset though. Like if you want your life to change, I might have picked up this book a year ago and said, man, this ain't shit. I don't want to read this. But now this is what I'm into. This is what I'm doing. And this is what we're doing it. So here's what I got. Tomorrow, I received the biggest check that I have made since forever. I don't get state help anymore. I don't, except for with daycare. I don't rely on child support because one, if it's not paid, then I don't get it. And I don't have any notice of that. And two, if I do get it, I don't really want to have it. I don't want to have to depend on it. So we're not going to put that in here. So what I did is I've got a couple of different, I'm going to show you a couple of different things. I've got this really cute Good Notes planner. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm sure I'll find it. One day I'll put links and bios and stuff when people actually start asking. But for now, this is just kind of for me. So we're going to go, I don't think I did it in May. I think June. Yeah, I think June was the first that I did it. Nope, maybe it was July. It took me a while to get on board, guys. So I don't use the monthly calendar in here. I should, probably, that would be helpful. But I feel like I'm filling out so many other calendars that it's just a lot. So for 2024, which I'm already preparing for, I'm setting up journals or planners that are already dated. So you'll see, I already have my 2024 hustle. I'm dated up through June on the monthlies. And then I'll go into each week and I will date each one. And that way next year, I already have a leg up because I am above it. But for right now, let's talk budgeting. So what I did is I went in here to my paycheck budget. And it's a little sloppy. This, in fact, is not the first one that I did because the first one that I did is super sloppy. Let me find it. It was not April. It was not May. Maybe I did it in a different... I might have did it in a different notebook. But it was really sloppy. It was really ugly. I literally just went through... I went through my bank account and I wrote down everything that I... Oh, here it is. It was July. Okay, so I wrote down everything that came out of my bank account. Everything that I knew I had to pay. And then I went and had Sabrina's photo shoot. I had Sabrina's photo shoot on the 21st of July. And they hit me with a $3,000 bill. It was going to be $3,000 if I wanted the full album. And... the album and then the rights to print anything up to an 8x10 and something else. And granted, it was a little expensive and I probably didn't need to, but we'd won this little promotion. They gave us like a free 8x10 or whatever. And I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to do it. So when I said to the lady, she goes, well, what can you do? And I said, I had already, before I walked through the doors, I knew I wanted something solid. I wanted something I could give out to people. I knew that this was going to be emotional. I knew that I was going to want these pictures of Sabrina. So I knew I could pay $150 every check as long as they need me to do it. I did not care the end all, and that's horrible budgeting, but whatever. I did not care. They could have told me it was $25,000, but they could do $155 a month. I was going to do it. Whole package is like $6,000. Totally worth it because it's really cute how they do it. They worked really well with Sabrina. It was really great. But I have friends that do photography I didn't know about. So we'll be tapping into that in the future because that's expensive. But anyway, so I knew $150. So I knew automatically what I had. So when I went to do this month, this was July, and I kind of just went through and I'm like, okay, I have my car payment, my storage, my insurance, Verizon, Comcast, blah, 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 blah. And then I immediately went into August. And I immediately started writing down the things in a cleaner version. And things that I don't really use, like Weight Watchers. I went and canceled that. That's $40 a month. I do love Weight Watchers. I really would love to use the Weight Watchers app. But until I'm in a position that I can meal prep and I can properly plan and I can, be on top of that, it's a waste of $40 a month, and that $40 could be going to something else. So I also cut out I cut out a lot of things. Oh, let's see. Do I have September's done yet? Yeah, I cut out a lot of things. And then as I moved into September, so I've already started billing for September, I cut out even more. And I cut out things like for Sabrina and like for Mommy and Me dates. And instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is just anything over, I'm going to go ahead and do like a date a month or something. I don't know. I'm a work in progress. Don't judge me. So anyways, so for August, so for my paycheck tomorrow, I sat down and I figured out my paycheck for August 25th. You'll see it up here. And I love this. Oops. I love this little app. No, because I can just write on here. Like I paid for the Apple Pencil and hold on, I can't do it upside down. But I can just write on here. So I can be like, hi, smiley face. And then boom, it's there. So like it makes it so it's literally gives me the satisfaction of having a notebook, which that's why I stuck with my day planners. That's why I don't use my phone calendar. I like to see things. So I wrote down how much my projected invoice is. Now I'm going to keep it real with you guys and use real-time numbers because I want it to be as transparent as possible, because when I come up, I want to teach other people how to come up, and I'm on my way up. Like I'm like that free willy, no pun intended, because I'm chubby, jerks, but I'm like that free willy that's like making that climb right now, and I'm just about at the peak where everyone's gonna see me shining, and then I'm gonna dip back down and just live my life in the quiet underground and make my money. That's how it's gonna go. But I want to be transparent with you guys, and I want to be real with you guys. Keep in mind, I did not start here. So there's a lot of times I would watch YouTube channels and they're putting, cash envelope systems. They're putting $200 and $300 in here, and they have these daily challenges. They can drop $51 a day into an envelope. And I'm like, man, I don't have $51 a month. Like the fudge. So I want to be real with you. And I talked a little bit about survival budgeting, which is what I'll call that. I need to deem that. Survival budgeting is where it's like you just pay what needs to be paid right now and fuck what's rest. Then I started paying what needed to be paid right now. And as money started coming in, then I started adding, okay, now we need some new clothes. I need new shoes. She needs new shoes. We need this. And we started adding the things that aren't like life or death, but we were still necessary. And now we're at a point where I think all of our wardrobes are up to, like, we're good on clothes. We're good on that. We've got a few like garbage bags and little things we need, but nothing big. And so now we're at that point. And so what I did is I wrote down my check is supposed to be $2,701.39. I round everything because I hate cents. I don't know for sure exactly how much that's going to be because I'm charged per usage of the facility room that I use. And I also get reimbursed for past jail visits, which you would think I would track these things, but I don't track these things because I'm very financially irresponsible. But I'll get there. So I have $2,700. So I put $2,500. So that way that's $200. That should be enough of a buffer for the room. Like I feel like that's enough of a buffer, especially because I'll be getting back money for the jail visits. So then I said, okay, I have AFS $2,500 and then child support $800. We never count child support. I simply put that on here so I can see it if it comes in. Typically, that's what I use for, like, I'll like reimburse myself for the payments on her photo shoot, or whatever. I like to use the money on stuff that is geared towards her. Like even though like I pay for all the other stuff, it's like I want the money to specifically be for something for her. So anyways, I have YMCA. I budgeted $180 because I keep forgetting to pay them, so I'm a month behind. So I need to play catch up, and I'd like to get to a point that I'm a month ahead and everything. So I'm going to do $180. They're going to take $147 out for brochures. That's the photo shoot. Fat Girl Rock Bottom, I have a $100 payment due this check to my graphic designer for some artwork coming. Can't wait for that. Wait till I see it. So I have that's coming out. Netflix I have on here. I put anything that's coming out this check. So I took the big list that we took from before, and if it's dated for like the 11th or the 12th, that's going to be the next check. I didn't put that on here. Fat Girl Rock Bottom, $100. So the Fat Girl Rock Bottom, that is going to go into, once I'm done with the graphic design, I'm going to actually put that in a fund so that eventually I can like have money for merch, or like when I start blowing up, I'm preparing for when I, glow up. But anyways, Netflix is $40. It's really only like 32, I think they take out. But I round it to 40, so I have that extra money in there. And this is where I fuck up, is I normally, we'll talk about that later. Zoom, I pay for Zoom. That's $20 a month. Wix, which is my website, is $30. Audible is $20. My storage unit is $100. If I get myself to my storage unit or find some people to help me clean it out, I could actually move the stuff I do want into my mom's storage unit and be giving her that money, which would take off from her bills, but that's later. Verizon is $180, and that's only because I'm paying off a watch and a phone and my tablet. Once I pay those off, that's going to drop down to like $80 a month. Gas, $400 a check. Now, I plan $400 a check because I figure my mileage, and that's something I can go through another day, but on my case list, I figured out how many miles each case is going to cost me, and how many miles each case cost me. Then I figured at 20 miles per gallon, which is kind of in the middle for my car. Sometimes I get like 28, sometimes I get like 21, but I'm like, okay, 20 miles an hour or 20 miles per gallon. And then I figured gas, I think I figured it at $4.50, and that way I'm safe. No matter what, $400 is going to go into a cash envelope. Food, $250. This is going to be for stuff that, we buy to help out at the house. This is going to be for anything that we need for like snack wise. If we, if I need lunches or whatever, that's what the $250 is going to be. And this is for a 2-week check, just so everybody knows. Comcast is $40. Isotonics, that's my daily essentials. That's $90. My TLS is my protein shakes. That's $90. My ketones is $130, and my nails is $200. Now these ones are over here. Comcast is a necessity, but I put these other ones over here because these aren't necessity. These are things that I have deemed necessary in my life, but realistically, if I have to cut something, nails can go, ketones can go, TLS can go, isotonics can go. So if I got a call from a loan officer tomorrow and they said, we can get you into a bank, but into a house, but we need this much money saved. All of these expenses, what is that, like 200, 300, I don't want to do math. It's like $500. All that is stopped. We're done. We're not, nails can fall off. We're going to just wait until we're done. So that's that. So the system looks great. And I use the cash envelope system. So I have the wallet that I carry on me, which I've talked about this a little before. I'm going to keep redoing these videos until I feel like I'm efficient with them. Make sure that I don't get my license in here. So I have these little cash envelopes, and I don't really keep my gas money in here. I don't really keep my housing money in here. I don't really keep my miscellaneous in here. I keep in here, typically I will start out my payday by putting the money in each one that I need, but then I move it around. So I have extra money or my change, I put all my change into one container. That way I can sort it out and I can get my ones out of there. I was actually pleasantly surprised because I came home tonight to go through my change, make sure I have all my old ones taken out, and my backup cash envelope system. And I actually had this little pocket here that I didn't realize. Keep in mind, I slid in with 166 miles left until empty on my car, and I get paid in like 10 hours, so I'm golden. But then I didn't realize I had this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's $19, which doesn't sound like a lot, but worst case scenario, I could drop this in my tank, turn around and flip it for 40 lifting, drop that in my tank, turn around and flip it for 60 lifting. And if I needed to, I could make this $19 work. And just having that $19 like grace in my life right now is huge. And that's why I will forever and ever support people with like the smallest victories. $19 or whatever I just said. 166 more miles I could have went and drove if I absolutely had to. I didn't borrow money from anybody, so I have a few sources like my dad or my mom or my brother or whatever that if I really needed to, I could borrow money from. So that's great. So here's where the problem comes in, and this is where it's going to be really interesting when I have my next CFO meeting, is when I put in $400 into a cash envelope. What typically will happen is I will only spend, because as I noted, I put $4.50 a gallon, 20 miles per gallon. It's not going to cost me that much. So when I have extra from there, I am notorious for that is when I go buy new clothes, or I go buy new shelves, or I go buy a new steering wheel cover, or I buy something for my tablet, or I buy something. No, what has to happen is I have to either start saving that money or putting that money down on stuff. The other thing that is very much a breath of relief to me is the fact that I have after everything is paid, and that's including, I'm going to make my payment for my brakes, which I'm going to pay that off anyways. I'm going to make payments on all of my past due debt and make all my payments on time. That's great. But then I'm also going to have, without the child support, I'm going to have $326 extra. Like on top of all of my needs being met, on top of everything else. So what I plan to do is, instead of putting that $326 in cash envelopes like I was going to, I've got 2 bills left on my credit that I think one of them is, oh, hold on, it's in my hand for a second while I grab the paper. I think one of them is, maybe I don't have it right here. I think one of them's like $600 and the other one's like $700. And so what I plan to do is call them and be like, yo, I have $300. What can you do for me? And if they're like, well, we can do $450, cool. When child support comes in, I'll take $150, boom. Or if it doesn't come in for my next check, pay it off. And that's what I plan to do. I plan to try to be more strict. I need to figure out a system, because like last check, I loaded $50 onto my Dutch Brothers account. And then I thought I was walling. So I went and got my niece's coffee. Me and Sabrina got Dutch soda almost every day because it counts for water intake. And I really need to like rein that in. But for right now, the fact that I am paying my bills on time, I'm not getting overdraft charges. My checking account, my business checking, has $1.13 left. That sounds horrible. If I walked up to somebody like, hey, I got $1.13 in my bank account, they'd be like, you broke, bitch. But I'm not negative. I didn't pay $25 non-sufficient fund charges. I had a whole catastrophe with my brake. I got both sets of brakes replaced, and I'm still not negative. And that is a huge accomplishment to me. So I don't know what we're on, but my new CFO, because I fired the old one, I fired myself, and then I hired the new version of myself. The new CFO is going to take things a lot more seriously. I'm going to budget things out a little more, and I'm really going to start honing in on teaching Sabrina about finances, because even though I can't start building her credit young, I can start building her financial knowledge base and her financial nest egg young. I can start now. I can get a house now, and by the time she's old enough to need it or sell it because she's moving to a different country or whatever, it's going to be paid off or close to. And that's freaking amazing for me. So in a matter of 3 weeks, I went from looking at a realtor and saying, I don't know what I want in a house. And he said, well, you have to want something. If you're buying a house, like, you're stuck with it. And I said, a bedroom and a living room with at least enough room for my daughter to have her own bed. Like, that's literally the status that I'm on. I want a garage. I want 3 or 4 bedrooms because I want to be a foster mom. I can't be a foster mom without the room. I'd like, at the very least, 2 bedrooms, so that way we have either a shared bedroom because she wants a shared bedroom and a playroom / office, or we have our separate rooms that we can divide into offices and playrooms, whatever. I want a covered carport or a garage. I'd like a basement of some sort. I want a washer and dryer on site. Hopefully, like, somewhere near the kitchen would be great, because then I can, like, stack up my habits. But I'm starting to have dreams again, and I'm starting to feel alive again, and I'm starting to feel like I have a purpose again. And it is all because I am literally in control of my money. I'm in control of my chakra. I'm in control of my life, and even the situations that I can't control. Even like one of the battles that I'm talking about that I have no control over. Even situations with family members that are in toxic situations that I keep having to go save them from. I have no control over it, but I have control over how I respond to it. I have control over who I talk to. I have control over the conversations I have. I have control over if I have a day off or if I don't. I have control over how full my schedule is. I have literally set up my life to revolve around my control. And it's a beautiful thing, because with that control comes confidence. With that control comes, I'm a business owner. I'm not going to be pushed around or joshed around. I'm not just going to take the tire stores, oh, we need $245 for calipers, and just be like, okay, let me just pay because you're the only option I have. I have options. And it's all because I'm starting to get things on track. So this is under 20 minutes, and I'm really happy to share my new CFO meeting with you. I will continue to have these meetings, these updates with you guys. I got a cut on my finger. I cut my finger at the I don't know if you guys can see that. I cut it on the playground, and I'm pretty sure that there's a sliver in there. Oh, but I'm too much of a pansy to have someone try to get it out. It hurts. Anyways, I will check in 2 weeks. Yeah, I get paid on the 10th. In 2 weeks, and let you guys know how I did with this month's budget. Until then, I will catch you guys on the flip side. Stay blessed, stay hydrated.